Back on May 4th, 2020, William Wan wrote an article for the Washington Post titled, "The Coronavirus Pandemic is Pushing America into a Mental Health Crisis. Anxiety and depression are rising. The U.S. is ill-prepared with some clinics already on the brink of collapse." Federal agencies and experts warn that an historic wave of mental health problems is approaching: depression, substance abuse, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, and suicide. That was 3 months ago, and what we've seen since is an even worse situation, with concerns about going back to school, mask wearing, the indecision about opening or closing, or riotous behavior that we're being faced with, and constant fear. The media seems to be so focused on keeping us in a state of fear. So we need some real hope. And each Tuesday in the month of August, I'm going to focus on messages of hope. And today's discussion is on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. Hi, I'm Mary Bourne. I'm a traditional naturopath. I love sharing natural remedies with people for better health. They've stayed with us for thousands and thousands of years because they work. So thank you for joining me today. I hope that you like this video. It gives you some encouragement, and that you give me a thumbs up, that you share the video with others who may need some encouragement during this time. Do some comments. I love hearing from you. And let's get on with the discussion of hope. So hope is a feeling of expectation and desire for a certain thing to happen. It involves trust. It involves to aspire. Aspiration, as we know, is the process of drawing breath. So many of us have been in a state of emergency since March 10th and under a mandate of stay home, stay safe since March 23rd. Schools, restaurants, churches, they're all closed at this time. And I don't want to go into the politics of it all. I really want to stay with what can we do. But let's discuss, what does lockdown mean? Well, lockdown is the confining of prisoners to their cells, typically after an escape or to regain control during a riot. It's a state of isolation or restricted access instituted as a security measure. Now, I don't know about you, but we have certain words that trigger meaning in our hearts, and our brain is struggling with our heart to define it the way it is now being intended. So isolation, I years ago read Clan of the Cave Bear, and one of the ways that they punished people was to isolate them. They shunned them. They kept them away from the rest of the group. And that's what we've been doing. We've been held in isolation. We've been told it's because of health risks, but it is still a battle between this head and the heart thing, because we human beings need companionship, and isolation creates a feeling of loneliness, and it is comparable to the risk dangers of smoking, obesity, and it has shown to be an increase in mortality rate by up to 30%. So feeling alone increases the risk of death by 26%, while social isolation and living alone increases mortality risk by 29% and 32% respectively, according to this study done in March. And I will put a link to it in the description below, because you may want to read the entire thing. Because when we understand what these words mean, maybe we can get our heart and our head into changing how they can coexist. Loneliness has a negative effect on mental health, worsening depression, anxiety, mood disorder, cognitive decline, and on physical health, leading to higher rates of cardiovascular impairment, chronic pain, and fatigue. So we need to come to terms with this loneliness. It isn't just about conversing with somebody. It is about human contact. We are used to being held when somebody is dealing with loss. We're used to compassion, hugs, kindness, touches, understanding. It is an energy passed between two or more individuals. And when we can't experience that, it increases the factor of loneliness. So PTSD is a huge problem. It affects about 3.6% of adult Americans, about 5.2 million people each year. And this is before COVID. An estimated 8 million Americans will experience it at some point in their lives. Now, we used to think it only had to do with like guys and gals coming home from war, experiencing horrible, horrible things. But it can be some of the experiences that we find horrible and difficult to live with. So it could be rape, it could be a robbery, it could be injury of some sort. So there may also be many who experience a milder form of PTSD. So it can go in a range to extreme and to mild. And we find out that they all have triggers that make us more touchy. So the effects of the coronavirus or COVID-19 pandemic on PTSD. And these are some of the things that people are experiencing, that they feel more on guard or unsafe. Because if you listen to the news, that can make you feel like there's bears on behind every tree. There's more trauma triggers. So let's go over the feeling more guarded or unsafe. Health and safety are concerns for everyone during this time. If you have PTSD, these concerns might be more intense and frequent than others. You may want to avoid other people so you're worried about getting the virus, and so you've been homebound. And when you do go out, you wear a mask or shield, or you stay away from other people, and you're very, very guarded because we're told to be. Okay, so there's the feeling of it when you're under PTSD, and it's exacerbated by those people we look to for answers. So places that felt safe before the pandemic may now cause you to feel anxious. You don't know why you feel anxious. You just got to get out of there. You can't be there. So these can be public places of you name it, even parks. So it's a feeling of being keyed up and in a state of high tension all the time. No downtime, no hugs to relieve it, no places of safety. More trauma triggers. You may find that you are experiencing more triggers or reminders of your trauma. So this thing about we're all in this together is so wrong, because each of us handle stress differently. And there's no one person who's going to know and understand exactly what's going on in your heart and how you're feeling. So this, we're all in this together, is a bunch of baloney. We may be all in it together, but we are not all experiencing the same thing together. So not doing things that are still considered safe. Well, there are some things that are still considered safe, but we don't have the energy. We're stuck. We're paralyzed in fear, some of us. And what these classes are about is how to move through, how to find some tools that will help you to move through this feeling of stuck, this feeling of paralyzing. And the interesting thing is that you're tired, but you can't sleep. And so we have negative thoughts and feelings and problems with sleep and concentration. And one of the things I want to talk, one of the tools I find to be helpful is that what people turn to during this time, maybe it's a TV program and they'll watch a TV and then they'll get just stuck watching TV, or they'll watch the news and they have to watch the news and then keep switching and finding and listening, and it's all the same, but you want to keep, what does this guy have to say, or what does this gal have to say about it, what's going on here. Limit, set a limit to what you're going to expose yourself to, and then get up and do something different. Maybe it's put stuff in the dishwasher. Maybe it's make your bed. Maybe it's get dressed. Maybe it's take a shower. Maybe it's wash your hair. Do something constructive. And then if you want to, you could go back to that. But again, set your limit. Limit yourself, put a timer on and obey the timer. Listen to that, because it is in your best interest. I like to turn to YouTube, and there's a wonderful program called Mary's Nest on YouTube, and she also has her own website, marysnest.com, and she helps you take a processed kitchen and convert it to a traditional food kitchen. And in simple ways, she gives you so many options that what you feel comfortable doing, you can do. And I'll put a link to Mary's Nest because I just find her cheerful and helpful and fun to listen to. And I get so many wonderful ideas. I also like gardening. And so I will go on YouTube. I have several favorites that I watch. migardener.com is great because he's a Michigan gardener and he struggles with the same thing that we in Michigan are struggling with. So you might check that. Now, in this PTSD web thing, it tells you to check hotlines and therapies, and a lot of them have been overwhelmed, like the suicide hotline has been overwhelmed. But if you're to that point, you hang in there and you get some help. Call a neighbor, get outside, call help. Find somebody that is going to hang over the fence and talk with you. I think it's a wonderful idea to once a week make extra in a meal and then have a meal exchange with a neighbor and then they make extra 1 day a week, and they meal exchange with you. And so you're constantly thinking of recipes, finding interest in healthy foods. Maybe you have a garden and you want to share with other people. You can look up recipes on preparing, pickling, fermenting foods, creating gifts for the for Christmas. You know, homemade gifts are a wonderful idea. They really do help a person feel like you've been thinking of them, even if it's just to go into your garden and pick some flowers and leave them on somebody's doorstep. Doing things for other people helps to keep your mind off of your own problems. And although sometimes you have to consider your problems and figure out how you're going to deal with them, it is not something that you want to spend a lot of energy doing. So I want to go over some of the supplements. Now, in the Tuesdays of August, I will be going further into this. Today, I'm just going to touch on eating a balanced, healthy diet and what main supplements that most people need, because we don't get everything we need from food, especially during this time when people go to food for comfort. Limit the amount of comfort food that you go to. Maybe you can have it once a week, but focus on enjoying healthy foods. Enjoy the taste of good vegetables or fruit. Eating a balanced diet with a good selection of fresh veggies, fruits, and healthy protein is the basis. I love to go to the farmer's market and check out what's happening, what farmers are growing, and things are starting to come in now. Um, I still grow my own food, but I like to watch and see what are the farmers doing and get to know them and find out maybe what solutions they have for different pests that I have in the garden, or different issues I have. If I have a leaf that's turning yellow and I don't quite know how to deal with it. So a good multivitamin and mineral supplement is really paramount. And to keep your immune system up, you do need vitamin C and vitamin D. It There are so many thousands of studies on these two vitamins and the importance of them in your health regime. It's ridiculous. Why we're not hearing it on mainstream media, it is criminal as far as I'm concerned. We are not hearing what we can do on mainstream media. It is baffling to me. Now, we also need some good fish. Now, maybe you can't eat fish every day. I know I can't. I love fish, but I'm not going to eat it every day. And to ensure that I get my good fish oil, I take a fish oil supplement. And B vitamins, the ones I love are Nutricom, and I love the Sunshine's omega-3 essential fatty acid. And because the studies that were done were on um, a certain percentage of EPA to DHA. One is specific to the heart and one is specific to the brain. And I need both of those. You know, I'm 77 now and I need to have good brain health, be able to think about things. And I have heart issues in the family, and I want to keep my heart strong and healthy. So I take that, and there are some specific things that are healthy for the nervous system that next week I will go into things like St. John's wort, lemon balm, hops, passion flower. I will link a little video to this video where I made an ointment, and you can rub it on your skin. If you don't want to ingest something, you can rub it in. The skin is the largest absorbent organ that we have, and putting things on our skin will get it into the body, and we can help in that way. I will also talk about essential oils that are beneficial for the nervous system and to help calm things down and to help us sleep better. Flower essence therapy is, there's no scent to it. It's something you take internally to support nervous system health. And I grow some of these, like I grew mullein. My neighbor grows hops. I grow lavender and peppermint. My sister grows passion flower. So some of these are things that you can grow in your own garden. I was gifted with St. John's wort from some birds about 7 years ago, and I'm grateful to them. I use it every single year. I harvest some of the St. John's wort and do something with it. If it isn't an internal remedy, it's a salve or lotion or cream. It's so beneficial and has many, many wonderful things that can assist with the nervous system. I grow lemon balm, and I've used lemon balm in so many wonderful things. It makes a great tea, has this wonderful lemony taste, and you can put it on fish. You can make an oil with lemon balm, garlic, and a little bit of capsicum, and you can put that on fish. It's just super. So get excited about some good eating, some good things that you can do for yourself to help keep your spirit up. And I have to say, pray, because prayer, invoking the spirit, is wonderful. It's soothing, it's calming. Find some of the websites that invoke prayer and give you hope, because that's what it all is about. It's about sharing hope with other people, letting them know they're cared about. So I hope this proved beneficial for you and that you share it with other people. Give me a thumbs up and comment below. And if you have questions, you can contact me on my email, drmary@bornforhealth.com, and keep your spirits up. Do things that are good. Be kind to yourself and to others. They're going through trauma as well. And so dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder can be really, really difficult, but there is hope out there, and these Tuesday messages will help support you and give you some ideas on what you can do to support yourself and how you can share these messages with other people. So keep focusing on gratitude. Be thankful for the people and gifts of nature all around you, the flowers and the joy that we experience on a day-to-day basis. And thank you for viewing. And until next time, this is Dr. Mary for the Health of It.